Hello guys, today we will have interaction with Kartik Devpura. Kartik got through IIM Ahmedabad and he is going to share with us his experience of that IIM interview. So I know it's going to be a very good learning experience for all of you. So first of all, Kartik, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So how are you feeling after getting into an IIM?
Relieved, but it just seems like I have a lot more free time now. That's all. Otherwise, it's the same.
Okay. Before moving further, Kartik, tell about yourself.
Okay. So my name is Kartik Devpura. I'm from Indore, India. And I completed my schooling from the CH EdgeMakers International School in Indore itself till class 12, where I studied commerce in class 11 and 12. And then I went to the US, where I completed a BA in economics from Colgate University in New York, after which I decided to come back to India and do an MBA here.
Okay. So you had your interview with IIM Ahmedabad.
Yes.
When did you have it?
It was on 16th February.
Okay.
Yeah.
And can you elaborate on the details, like when you went there, what was your slot, and how did it proceed?
So my interview was in Delhi. I don't remember the name of the hotel that they had booked, but there were around 60 to 70 students there at the same time as me. So it was an early morning panel so I had to report to the hotel at around 8 a.m. They gave us snacks and they started the process of document verification right before the interview started. But it turned out that I was the first person who was being interviewed by my panel, so my document verification happened after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So did you have writing ability test, that is VAT first, or
Right.
the
I
interview
had
first?
the writing assessment test.
Okay.
So they took each panel students in a separate room. And they administered the writing assessment test there, and then they asked two of us who were the first in line to be interviewed to stay back in that room. And that was the process.
And what was the topic?
So my topic was there was a lengthy argument about why corporate social responsibility is bad for the companies that undertake them, and we had to analyze the assumptions behind the argument,
Okay.
and then offer possible rebuttals to the argument.
Okay. And do they ask questions based on whatever you write, whatever you wrote on your VAT?
I don't know if it's the same for everyone, but in my interview, they definitely asked questions about my VAT. They actually went in quite in depth into my VAT, where they asked me why I have written certain things, and they also offered their opinion on what I had written. And then they asked me examples of current corporate social responsibility that firms are undertaking, and if the government should tax firms based on corporate social responsibility. And because I'm an economics major, so they also connected that aspect to my academics from college.
Okay.
And went into detail.
Okay. So how did the interview start, and how many panel members were there?
There were only two panel members, and the interview, it was, I would say, an unusual start because they didn't ask me to introduce myself at all. They just went ahead, and the first question they asked was, did you come here to the interview directly from the US? And I thought that that was like a fun start, so I answered with a smile, but they didn't smile in return. So I guess it was a way to stress me out. But then after that, they dove right into my academics and asked me economics questions.
So lots of questions were based on your academics.
Yes, they asked me economics questions. They asked me what my favorite topics that I had studied were in economics, and then they asked me They asked me to draw different graphs, and then they asked me to analyze certain situations based on the graphs that drawn. So the topic that I had selected was externalities. And they made me draw graphs of social costs and externalities, and then they asked me what the way is for a government to tax an externality and reduce it. So it was very in-depth.
Okay. Were there any personal questions that is related to you, your personality, or the way you behave?
Yeah, towards maybe the end of the interview, they weren't really personal questions, I would say, but they were more questions oriented towards why I came back to India and why I want to do an MBA. And they asked these questions to me in an interesting style, where they said that, and I am quoting here the interviewers, they said that everyone here gives us the same answer, so tell us from your heart why exactly you want to do an MBA, and we'll know if you're making it up or if you're being honest. And I told them why, and I told them I wanted to work in finance and what sort of career I wanted to pursue. And their response was that everyone here says the same answer. So what do you have to say about that? So my only response at the time that I could think of was that it is a prepared answer, but just because it is prepared doesn't mean that it's a fake or a dishonest answer. It's just something that I wanted to make sure that I was saying correctly. That's why I prepared
That
it.
was a good, honest reply.
Yeah, that's what I felt that time.
Okay, great. And during our informal discussion, you were
Yes.
talking about Sandeep sir, who was
Yes.
your mentor here at CH EdgeMakers.
Yeah.
So, would like to pre-quote or
Yeah. Before my mock interviews at CH EdgeMakers, I had a couple of counseling sessions with Sandeep sir here, and at the time I wasn't really sure about what career direction I wanted to pick. This is post after getting my CAT score, but he spoke to me in a very informal way and helped me understand what the value of an MBA is. And how it can help me in the direction that I want to go to. And I would say that was very helpful in just clarifying things for me, but also being able to frame my answers for the interview process. So very helpful.
okay. And how did the interview end?
The interview ended where, because I had spoken about finance, so they asked me what companies come to IIM Ahmedabad to recruit for finance, and I named a couple. And then they asked me if I wanted to do a finance specialization in IIM Ahmedabad, and I thought that was like a trick question because I told them that IIM Ahmedabad or any IIM doesn't offer any specializations. So they asked me how I knew that, and I told them I went to the website and checked it out. And then they asked me if I had any questions for them, and I asked what the recruitment process was like, and they asked me to Google it, and that was the end.
Okay. And what were you feeling after the interview? Were you quite confident that you will be able to make it?
No, not at all. I think I I think this is also after
That's what you said. They were very deadpan, so
They
they were
were-
not expressing anything.
Yeah.
Probably to stress you out.
It may have been to stress me out. Obviously the first reason that I didn't feel great about the interview was because as an interviewer, they obviously aren't supposed to give any reaction towards how the interview is going, which I get. But that doesn't offer any solace to me for how the interview went. And just after any test or interview, I think the only thing that you go over is what you could have done better. So that kept going on in my mind about what answers I could have given better and what I could have changed. So that's why I had mixed feelings about the interview.
How long was your interview?
It was about 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Yes.
And would like to suggest something to the viewers, like how should they prepare for IMA interview? What should they keep in mind?
I think they will try to stress you out based on how my interview went and what other transcripts I read. But the right thing to do isn't to worry about giving the right answer necessarily, or what a lot of interviewees do is they try to impress the interviewer. I think it's not a good idea to do that because they'll see right through you. I think the right thing to do is to have an honest conversation about the interviewer, and if you don't know something, then it's okay to say that. That's my advice.
And do taking mock interviews help? Because you had almost 3 to 4 mock interviews here at CH EdgeMakers.
Yes, I think take as many mock interviews as possible. Don't take them incredibly seriously, where you feel like the mock interviews will be the end all of how your preparation is. But just to get into the zone of taking interviews, I think mock interviews are very helpful. Yes.
Okay, great. It was really wonderful talking to you. Once again, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So, that's it in this interaction. We'll certainly have more interactions with Kartik, because he's going to share his views on IIM Indore interview as well, because he got through there as well. Till then, thank you so much.